Welcome to Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms. This is Raph streaming to you live high above the keep in the hot air balloon. Tonight, we have an amazing panel of guests. We have Franz. Franz, how you doing?
Doing great. Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. We have Mean Machine. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween indeed. All right, and we have a late last minute ad. Maddie, how are you?
Oh, welcome to Bogside. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm good. How are we doing, Raph?
Doing great. Yeah, I could use the intro assistance. It's been a while since I podcasted. Gosh, going on over a week. I think it's the longest hiatus Neindorf and I have taken. So it feels good to be back on the bike again. Well, we have a lot to talk about. Let's jump into some brief news here. We have Dark Summoning on the horizon, probably going to drop this week. From what we can tell, kind of reading the tea leaves. Who wants to take their initial first stab at this one?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I've got a few pairs lined up that I bought specifically for Dark Summoning. I'm not sure how much I'm going to do overall when it comes to, my stable and cutting away at that, but excited for it nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. After they made the announcement, I quickly jumped on the tavern and was looking for some advanced floor heroes, thinking I could get a cheaper way to get up to some elites. So I'm excited for like those opportunities.
Mean Machine, how about you?
Yeah, I'd say I'm most excited about what it's going to do for the hero population as a whole. I'm not going to be running out in Dark Summoning right away, but I'm very curious to see how it goes for people.
All right.
Yeah, I think too a big issue for me is what is actually going to be the rarity bonus. I mean, if it's significantly higher than current summoning, I think I might do more than I'm planning on right now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So let's explain that a little bit. We had a kind of a guest appearance of a wild Mr. Zipper fly in on Discord the other day, and there's a pretty complicated formula that works through both the boosts of the rarity that you have, and so the rarity of the two heroes summoning that are going to get burned plays a role in it creates the floor for the rarity, right? And then
Yep.
you can also, and this is where I think we need some more details. You can use your summons as charges in effect to help also boost the rarity. Or if you have additional summons on your hero, like 10 out of 10, you can pay more in coin to boost it. I'm not really sure which of those it is. Do you guys have any indication on that?
I think it's you pay for as many, up to 10 of 10. I mean, it depends on how many your hero has. Like, there's a fee for per summon, and then that increases as many times as you use it, as many times as you pay for it. That increases the rarity chance. I don't know by what amount. That's what those weird formulas were. Um, but I think if you pay like the full price, you could get a huge boost with your 10 of 10s.
Yeah, that's exciting. I have a couple of guys that I've been kind of prepping in the wings, ready to go as the sacrificial lambs into the dark summoning portal. So we'll see how we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited for it to drop. I think it will raise the floor. I think that's where it will have the biggest impact. Not only are you removing heroes from circulation, but the floor heroes that have no summons left with the ability to even the chance at mutating, because summoning is going to be 4 times cheaper than what it is now. And so even with the chance of being able to pair those heroes together and get a more advanced ability, it's going to be worthwhile. And I see a lot of people going for that, and just grabbing floor heroes, trying to find another floor hero pair. Shout out ADFK matching tool. I think that's going to be in hot demand to try to pair up those skills and take two relatively low combat prowess heroes that are like commons with advanced 1 and find another common with advanced 2. Try to summon them together to get an elite, something like that. Advanced skills on the tavern right now aren't really demanding that much of a premium.
Yeah, it's so tough when you hit one of those, when you get that advanced or get that elite skill, and it ends up being a common.
Right.
So I think as much as I'm saying, oh, I might not do too much of it, I think I might get roped in.
That's good.
The
All
other
right.
really interesting part about this that we haven't talked about is that the dark summonings keeps the levels of the heroes that you summon. So I
Right.
don't know if it's an average or a max, but I see a lot of people, if you have good heroes that have bad level up rolls, you can dark summon with them and sort of reset to maybe get a better RNG on your next try.
I think that's a great point, Mean Machine, but also the idea of people who've used a ton of crystals, used stones to summon, they might not be encouraged to burn up their heroes, but the heroes who might have lower stats that haven't used it, no, the people haven't used any crystals, those guys are going to get burned and kind of thin the herd of bad heroes. So it's going to be even more competitive, like down the road for PvP eventually.
Yeah. I'm really just excited about it raising the value of heroes in total.
Yeah.
Even my Gen Zeros, I think, ultimately will become more valuable. Having fewer heroes out on the marketplace, I think that's going to be a really good thing for the game.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pumped for it.
All right. Any other news elements that you guys want to get through? All
There's a
right.
big tournament on the horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the tournament. So we have the Bogside Invitational Lightweight Tournament. Franz, I will bring up on screen here the info page, and in the show notes, people can go ahead and click into the show notes, and they can find a link to this Google Doc. Go ahead and walk us through what are some of the prizes that I guess first off, what does lightweight class mean? If you haven't heard of Bob Nothing, he's you and Bob Nothing Franz have kind of come up with this amazing class-based system for organizing heroes. Give us a brief rundown on what does lightweight class mean, and then what are the prizes to gain in this amazing tournament.
Yeah, definitely. And when you say me and Bob Nothing came up with this together, it was like 99.5% Bob Nothing. So I don't want to take too much credit there. But no, it's the weight classes are a way to make sure that we keep the heroes in the arena evenly matched so that, we get some fair, fun Fight Club fights, right? So the lightweight class that we're going to be doing this for, it has of your 3 hero team, it's a max of 8 levels between them, with a max of each hero cannot exceed a level 4. So you have a few combinations that can come from that I think we'll get into kind of the merits of it throughout the pod tonight. But you can have a 4-3-1, or you could have a 3-3-2 as how you're setting those levels up. And I think I've been hearing some things from some different people who feel strongly about one way or the other. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what we see come tourney time. As far as other rules, 1 elite class only. So either Dragoon or a Sage in your lineup at a time, not both, and not more than one of either of those. And like the past tournaments, no Dread Knights. So yeah, as far as rules go, I also should mention the format's going to be a little bit different. We wanted to get people a few more matches rather than that single elimination, one and done, especially for the lower seeds going against someone higher. It could feel like you kind of wasted your time a little bit. So we're going to be doing group stages. It's going to be double elimination for those groups. So at least 2 games for each player, and then that's going to funnel into a single elimination tournament.
Love it.
So,
Love it. And,
yeah.
One thing that, I obviously investor and participant in the Fight Club community here. But one thing I want to keep pitching to those who may not have kind of taken the leap into this, it does feel a little daunting at first to get into skill-based combat, because that's what this system is. But it is so gosh darn rewarding, isn't it? Mean Machine, why don't you talk a little bit about, what got you into it in the first place, and why do you keep coming back for more?
Well, it's like one of the most exciting games that I've played of any game recently. I mean, it's the skill that you have and like the strategy. It's just so gripping. If you ever played Pokemon and you went and played the Elite Four, it's like that, but every match. It's so great.
I love that. And, actually, as we've been thinking forward towards our excitement for the product that Wisdom Labs is creating, it's going to be a different style of battling. It is going to be, I believe, likely still pure blockchain, which means that there is a lot of preparation that goes into before you play the game. You're kind of structuring the sequence, almost writing the program of code of how you want your heroes to operate. But right now and in the future, there is no other game like Fight Club that lets you have skill before the match and skill playing in each turn of the match. I think that's something that really sets this game apart. And, as I've stepped back to think about it, I want to stop being so shy when it comes to bragging about Fight Club. I think it's the best product that we have for these NFTs right now, and I want to keep pitching it and promoting it pretty hard. So, that's I'll jump off my soapbox here and Franz.
Hell yeah, that got me pumped up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was awesome.
It's what we want. It's utility for our NFTs. That's what we've always wanted when we bought these in the first place, and now we have them. So I totally agree.
And rewarding too. So walk us through. Not only is it rewarding to play the game from a fun aspect, but there's also some awesome rewards here from the tournament. Franz, what are they?
Yeah, and that goes to how great of a community we have here with DeFi Kingdoms. So we have this prize pool again. We're going to be doing the participation raffle again. So for anyone that doesn't know how that works, everyone's going to get one raffle entry for joining the tournament, and every round that you advance, you're going to get another one. And we have some prizes, some crystal-based prizes for first place, second place, third, and fourth place. But what's more interesting is the Gen Zero summons and pets that people have donated. So we have one Gen Zero summon choice of Crypto Grady's Gen Zeros. So thanks to Crypto Grady for that. Kells is putting up Gen Zero summon, ADFK's own Kells.
That's right.
Yeah. Sir Worm, once again, coming back with another Gen Zero summon. Raph, you and Neindorf, and then myself and Guy Kidd putting ours up. And then we have some pets being given away by the Beav, Justice Beaver, who you can check out his Discord server. We'll try to link it maybe in the description. DFK Underground.
Yep.
And then Mosh is providing a hero as well, and he is a server, Mythic Squad Discord. Oh, and I shouldn't forget Sergeant Filthy McNasty with a nice set of eggs, and Rock 808 I was actually just talking with in Discord. He wants to get in on the fun too. So I feel like I've been talking forever because that was a lot of prizes.
Yeah,
there's a lot there.
That's incredible. All right, so let's jump right into the tier list, the main event, what everyone's here for. Maddie, we haven't heard from you in a moment, so I'll let you kind of take it away. I'm sharing my screen right now, and we have I updated the images to match everything from the amazing Stronghold on Expert. I clearly don't know how to make images the same shape and size, so they look a little ugly right now. But we're gonna forge forward. Why don't you take it away? We'll go with the traditional reading of top left to right Archer. Actually, let's do that. I think let's start with Archer.
Actually, before we start with the individual classes, I think one of the key things to remember here is what are the parameters of the lightweight, right? So your team can't be more than 8 levels. and the highest an individual hero can be is level 4.
That's right.
Now, for me, the biggest shift in that from say like the baby cup that we just did is got to be hit points, right? So some of these beefier classes, your more tank-like classes that could that have a better chance of rolling high on those hit points are gonna be able to survive, some of the more popular moves that we've seen in the meta.
Yeah.
And that could really kind of change up how we're doing it. So I think that's a key thing that I'm thinking about on all this is the hit point change for the hero. So that's really going to affect my rankings.
Love it. Yeah, yeah. Like you said, you have potentially up to 3 level ups. Getting to 2, 3, and then 4, where you could be rolling that high percent high HP gain, and if you got that all 3 times, vitality plays a major role. Where initially, your HP for each stat or each class is set in stone. So the way that Fight Club HP is calculated is you get your starting health and you add your endurance to that. And then if there's an elemental multiplier, you do that as well. So for those of you out there who are, kind of trying to catch up, this information is available on the Fight Club Discord. Go check it out. Ask anyone for help. We love helping people out. So, Maddie, you've dodged the question long enough.
Exactly.
So Archer.
So that being said, I still think Archer is going to be pretty strong. I think I want to say like either last A or first B. Definitely not like higher up like it was for the level 1s, but I think it's going to be a good hero for this.
Interesting.
I disagree. I think it's still in the S tier.
Oh,
You think it's? I think
slapping hard here.
Here's why.
Okay, yeah.
Fight Club speed stat is Dex and
True.
agility.
Yeah.
And at any level, archers are going to have that high Dex, give them the high speed, and that's really what's made them so good. So I think they're still in the S tier because they'll have the Dex, and I think their skills are still pretty useful.
See, the thing is, though, I mean, if you get a Dark Knight or a Paladin who's their big tank, that 70 is not going to do a lot of damage to them, that aim shot. It's not going to be that same punch that it was.
No.
Yeah, it stops that 2-hit KO that certain classes the Archer could have.
I still think it's very good. I just don't think it's S. I think A is fine for it.
I think the big kind of difference here is the construction, right? If someone's going with a 4-3-1, something I was thinking about doing is putting that 1 in the midline, having it be a sage or a priest or something where I'm not worried about its stat growth. I just want those skills. So a level 1's as good as a level 4, except for the health, right? So if you have one of those in the midline, the Archer could pick away at it pretty quickly. But if they go with the 3-3-2, something more balanced, then maybe you'd want a different class, like maybe a wizard with Ice Blast over that Archer move.
Now, Franz, did you use an Archer in some of the prior tournaments that we had that were more unlimited format style?
I used one in the Baby Cup.
Okay.
I did not in the heavyweights.
Did you, Mean Machine, use one in the heavyweight style? I can't remember.
So I did not, but I also got wrecked by Corey's heavyweight archer, which is
Corey was the one that
here a little bit.
And so I think that would be where my brain honestly is kind of flipping back and forth on this, because I think on one hand we've seen level 10 archers do great inside the heavyweight format, but also with that said, I kind of asked myself the question, why do they do great? And it's because full draw really threatens really well, and that's the 1 meter skill that does 110 damage to the farthest back hero. But here's the thing where archers might have a dip. Maybe I don't know. They might have a dip in capability. I think we're gonna see charge. It's a little easier to get than it was in the Baby Cup, but still a lot harder to get than it is in the heavyweight style battle. And so I don't think that 1 meter skills are suddenly going to be falling off trees, so to speak. So I think I'd probably throw this. With all that said, talking myself maybe out of S tier. I think archers are still really darn good, and
This is a
really
tough,
meta
really tough
defining.
one to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
maybe
is
we
tough.
throw it in A and see how it looks.
All right, sounds
We'll
good.
come back. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, I think A is the right spot.
Okay, Mean Machine. Let's go to Berserker.
Oof.
I'm
So
glad he got Berserker.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, so I'm gonna have to say they're probably D, as much as I want them to not be D. It'll be interesting to see the lightweight because we do get more HP, and what held them back in the Baby Cup was that the HP loss just made them really tough to use for more than a turn. And since one of their big advantages is just being able to hit hard for DPS, you can't do that if you're dead in 2 turns.
Yeah.
I still don't think that's going to be that much of an improvement in lightweight.
Oh, I was excited for you to get it because I thought you were going to go higher there. I know that you're a big fan of the Berserkers.
I want them to be great, and I want to try one. Like, if we had a light heavyweight, I would stand pop my Berserker up for that. But
I think we might need to see a little bit of tuning, and at least see where this goes with the heavyweight class. I tend to agree with you. Kind of, the motto of the Missouri state, right? Show me. So I think until they climb out of the clutches of D, I'm willing to put them there.
Yep.
All right, Franz, Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. So Dark Knight is one that we ranked pretty low in the Baby Cup. 2 1 meter moves, dependent on health. I think I think you could drop it in where you're hanging it there, right on the B.
All right.
Yeah, I think a little bit higher health, a little bit higher strength, and it's more time for that Dark Pack to get off. And if Dark Pack does get off, then I mean that could be a match winner. I think
I gotta push a little bit on that because I think it should be A. I think it should be A for sure. I would even maybe argue S just because he could be such a strong front line, especially if he's one of the higher leveled ones that you have, and he'll have that huge charge so that even if he goes down after taking a bunch of hits, he'll just set up your people behind you with the full charge because he's going to have decently high intelligence, hopefully, after a few level ups.
The charge gain is big.
I think a Dark Knight, you can be a hero that you can build a team around, and that should be at least an A tier.
So that could be. I see. So Maddie, you're kind of saying, and Mean Machine, you guys are saying like for the 4-3-1 style orientation is you might see some Dark Knights playing a heavy role as the 4s.
You may or may not see that if you face me.
Yeah.
All right, noting that down.
Even the level 3s, they'll have those 2 level ups, and they're one of the classes that has a chance at that very high hit point gain. So they really could be coming in as some of the beefier heroes in the entire thing.
You guys are kind of swaying me. I was really feeling what Franz was at the start of this going into the tier list is that their dex and agility, they're so slow. They are slow as molasses, and I feel like that kind of hampers them if you're always getting punched first. Even if you are starting to get a little beefier, it still hurts, I guess. So interesting, and I hadn't really thought through the idea of it being your level 4 hero. I would maybe push back that a level 3, it's not going to make that big of a difference. But a level 4, maybe that does. So, okay. All right. Let's...
And just for reference sake, I have a level 3 Dark Knight. The element isn't great. It's dark element, so it takes away from that health. But it comes out at 202 health.
Yeah. I mean, you can get Dragoons that start out at level 1 that are that high of health. So,
right.
I mean, again, like you admitted, the element plays a
the actual card's health is 218 there.
Okay.
So
interesting. Okay, let's go to Maddie. You're next. Dragoon.
I mean, just based on pure stats, I mean, I can't be lower than A, but probably S. especially because I feel like that percentage one is going to be a big difference now because everyone's going to be it's going to affect people more. I don't know. If you guys want to argue for A, I can understand that though, because I don't know where to place it, to be honest. S or A.
I'd throw it in S. I think
I'd
it's
throw
gonna
it
be
in
better
S,
than
too.
Sages in this format.
Mhm.
And the thing that the Dragoon can do that no one except the Knight can do is force a switch.
Right.
And that's actually really powerful. You can really throw your opponent off their game.
Excellent point. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And that segues us nicely to Knight. What do you think, Mean Machine? Are Knights gonna start to see play yet?
So I am really curious to see how they play because they've gotten a buff since the Baby Cup tournament. And
Yeah,
Shield
walk us through
Slam.
that buff, if you would.
Yeah, so Shield Slam, which is the Knight's first ability, I believe it doesn't cost a charge. I gotta hop in the Discord.
Shield
real
Slam
quick.
does not. Shackle does. Yeah.
Yeah, and so what it does is it knocks back the enemy's front line, and then I believe the hero that gets swapped in gets their skills put on cooldown for a turn. No, that's yep.
Nope, that's correct.
Skills on
Yeah.
cooldown. So in these smaller cups where the skills are more important, that's a much bigger buff. So I think before I would be fine putting it in B tier. I think that's going to be really powerful.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's kind of like a tricky. We talked about this in the last tier list episode. Kind of feels like the silence moveset where you're anti-caster. I really love that kind of genre being brought into the game. Okay, Franz, let's talk about Monk. Where's C9N when you need to have a Monk discussion?
Yeah, he's gonna roll 3 out to this tournament, so or he keeps threatening to at least. I don't think that
Of
we've seen
course.
the all Monk team yet, but
He says that for every time. Yeah.
right, he's been threatening it for a long time now. No, but so with the Monk, I think the longer game, see, I don't even think it's the health and like what we've been saying for a lot of these heroes where it's all right, more health, stay alive longer. I think it's just that the game is going on a little bit longer. I've been thinking about throwing a Monk in my back line and kind of just holding him there and hoping I can get some of that charge built, fighting with my other 2 heroes and sneak in a Kai Blast or the threat of a Kai Blast in the late game.
Mhm.
I think it's B or C. I would go B. It's kind of a one trick pony, right? With that
Yeah.
Kai Blast, but it's a large pony.
And sorry, I should know this off the top of my head. Kai Blast is 3 meter.
3 meter
and
for
300.
an insta kill.
Oof. I don't know.
It's,
Yeah, certainly B or C. I think it's just. I think once you have 3 meter, your opponent's just going to be like, "Oh, he has a monk, so I know what I'm doing every time."
right, and then as
Then
long
you
as
get
it's
the
not your
freedom to
last
do
hero
everything
left,
else.
right,
Yeah,
right, and that's the fake out, right?
yeah. Your other heroes are more free to do their moves potentially, right?
If we see B filling up, I wouldn't be opposed to a move to C, but I think right now it's good.
Okay. I would probably
I think
guess
it's still-
bottom of B tier, but
Sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still a little too soon
all right.
for it to really shine.
Ninja, if only we had Neindorf here to take this. I tried to field a ninja last time. Mean Machine, I'll let you take this one. Where do you got ninjas right now?
I guess they're in the C tier. I know Franz has played around more with ninjas than probably anyone else on this pod. I think the high dex probably gives them a nice speed, so someone may be able to do something with that in this format where you got to choose your levels. But their skills, like Caltrops, that I still think is underwhelming.
I
Mhm.
agree.
Yeah. There's a path to success with the ninja, using it with the knight and the dragoon, switching their positions and triggering that Caltrops, but it's still, and I'm not talking weight class specific here because I was trying it in higher weight classes. But it's still just very slow developing. Because for the Caltrops to make sense, you have to get at least 2 down, and then you have to do your blitz or your shield slam, and at that point it becomes kind of predictable.
I agree. I'll take the next one. Ninjas and Paladin. Yeah, we're done with Ninja. Paladin is in S tier, and you can fight me if you feel otherwise.
Oh wow.
I feel like
I agree
Paladins
wholeheartedly.
are really solid inside the mid game here. They might start to fall off a little bit in heavyweight tier, maybe not. I think it could be heavily dependent on your subclass still. You might need and I know we're not getting into subclass yet, but you might need a 0 meter cost subclass for them to really take off. But they have an excellent 1 meter move and retribution that is probably a one-hit KO if you can survive. You're going to be slow, so you'll hit second. But if you can get your retribution off, it's going to do a ton of damage, and your vitality and endurance, just like we were talking about, where Maddie started us off, getting a few levels, that vitality is going to start to play a big role, as does the endurance for the Paladin, and they have high health rolls. So I think they're going to be coming in with a ton of health. They have the ability with Chivalry to heal the opponents. So you could even kind of go like an offensive strategy or a healer strategy. I think there's a lot of different options. And I think you still will be dependent on trying to select a good subclass for them to really threaten. But I think they're going to be probably low end of S tier.
Yeah,
I agree. I think everyone's going to have one on their team, I think.
Really? So I was sort of discounting Paladins. I didn't think Retribution would hit hard enough with the HP you can build up. But if you get a high HP Paladin, I love the stat.
Yeah, I'm looking. I have a Paladin at level 2 that's 206 HP. I'm just trying to look for reference points because I got to be honest. I was with Meme Machine here. I was kind of discounting him. I guess though, if level 2's at 200, you figure like 250, 260 for a level 3. I mean, yeah, that retribution is a one-shot KO. It's tough with the you probably have 1 chivalry in you.
Yep.
2 if you're just healing the front line. Yeah, I mean that could play. I mean that in the baby cup they just weren't usable. You couldn't really do much with them. But I think there's
tried.
enough to them now. Did you use them in the?
Yeah, you spanked me. Remember that? I tried.
Oh, I don't remember the Paladin in that.
Yeah, it was our last match. It was exactly. He didn't do much. He was not memorable.
Okay.
That's the point. Yeah. So, but he's hanging around. He's leveled up a couple times. And he's coming for you now.
Oh, geez.
All right. So, any other conversation on Paladin?
No, I'm gonna have to look into them more. I was not planning to bring one.
Okay, Maddie, we'll have you
after podcast switch.
All right, Maddie, I'll let you take the next one. Pirate, where do you got him?
This is tough. I've played with Pirate like a bunch, and I feel like I always lose with it. But I think it is interesting because it has that. I think it's Plunder that potentially takes the charge, which is such an interesting idea here in this game where I think
it
charge
always takes charge, always takes 20.
Yeah, well, but I think one charge moves are kind of going to be where the sweet spot is. So if you correctly call that, I think that's a huge advantage. But at the same time, I don't know if he packs a big enough punch. So I'm thinking C, but I could understand an argument for B. I don't know.
I was gonna say a little bit higher. I was gonna say A, because I like Plunder a lot. The issue with Plunder is that it's one of the few. I'm trying to think of another move that relies on RNG. I think that might be it, right? Because the RNG of getting
speed or damage, right?
Speed or damage. If you get those speed rolls, not great, right? Being faster is always good, but if you can get those damage rolls early,
stack.
Yeah, I mean that could turn a match. So to me, it's A just for that.
Cannon Barrage is not bad either. I mean, it is a 0 cost 50 damage hit, so that's nice.
Yeah.
The trick with the pirate is to really take advantage of the plunder. You got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, hanging out in that midline though, you know.
Yeah.
That's why to me the aim shot is still so important because it lets you pick away at that midline. Not
Yeah,
to
I mean, I feel like that
bring the
50,
combo back there.
going back to that aim shot, 50 is just not going to be as strong against heroes that have been leveled up a little bit.
It's 70, isn't it?
70.
70 is the aim shot, but the Pirates one is 50.
Oh, right.
Well, the cannon barrage is because that's a free switch. So I look at it as you get the switch, and then you get to deal 50 damage on top, which is a nice little scary.
See, I don't love that though, because I find there are a lot of times where I don't want to switch. I just want to deal damage.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I like it much better as a subclass than as a main class.
Sure.
Well, and it's only backwards, right? The pirate itself moves backwards.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
B?
Yeah, I mean, I think B is acceptable. I think A is
I'd
too
be
high
okay
for
with
it.
B.
Now, a headed knight or?
I think
below?
ahead of knight, yeah. Because the knight's I feel like still improving.
Yeah.
It's
I
we
agree
all
with that.
think it could be good, but none of us
We
have
haven't
really.
seen it yet.
Yeah.
Priest. We got a little more health this time around, Mean Machine. Where do you think priests are gonna land?
I think you gotta. The floor for priests, I think, is B because life tap and heal are just both. They have so much utility in the midline, and it's one of the ways. It's like getting extra HP, right? You're healing your heroes that want an advantage over your opponent.
Yeah.
And life tap is just like the foundation. You can build a team around life tap. That extra damage and charge is great for any hero. So I'd say
and a
it's gotta
0
be
meter skill.
0 meter skill too, which I'm
Mm.
still surprised every time.
All
Yeah.
right. How do you feel, Maddie?
I would say, I mean, I'm fine with it in B, but I would say A, just
Okay.
because I think, the heal is based on, I am a broken record, but the heal is based on your health of the other guys, right, Franz?
Your heal is a flat 45, and
No, so
the only reason I
that's
didn't say A is because priests are squishy. They get in your front line and they're
Yeah,
dead.
fair.
Well-
But are we sure on that
well,
heal?
so yeah, no. So we've been making class specific videos, right? And we just did the priest. So I was talking to Tylus. So it's between 45 and 80, the heal.
Oh, this is an
And
update.
and it's dependent on, and let me I'm trying to pull up where I was talking to him. It's 15% to the front line, I believe, and 10% to the midline within that so 15% of the max HP of the front line and 10% of the max HP of the midline within a 45 to 80 window. So minimum is always 45, max is 80.
Ah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, all right. So it's unlikely to be more than 45, though.
In
this tournament, yeah.
But life tap does get a bit of a buff here, right? Because our frontline heroes are going to be doing more damage than they did last tournament. So that means it's a stronger heal for that life tap.
Yeah, I mean, I think B makes sense, but also I could 100% see it in A.
I'm okay with either. I think it has a place as the level 1 in a 4-3-1 in
Agreed.
midline.
So I tried bringing a priest last tournament, didn't play test it much, and I did not do well with the priest. I feel like, to me, it's proven it in the heavyweight style, and I'm gonna keep trying it in each of the subsequent smaller tournaments until it fails. So it's almost like it's proven it, and I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think I'd probably put it in top of B.
It's fair.
All right, Franz. Sage.
Sage, I think D probably. No, it's S tier. We all know it's S tier. It's you have the higher health so that lightning strike isn't quite as deadly if it gets hit on you early, but it's it's still pretty deadly. If you get to 1 meter, a tune, the opportunity to heal, almost a max heal, at this stage, I mean, it's a solid hero. I think the health is still a bit of an issue, but it no longer is susceptible to 2 aimed shots in the midline being enough to kill it, unless you're bringing a level 1. So yeah, I think it stacks up nicely.
Okay. No, I'm sure there's no qualms from the rest of the group.
Sounds
on
good.
that placing.
I
Oh.
actually, the way we have it ranked, it would be at the bottom of A tier for me right now. I feel like
Okay, interesting.
it's still pretty squishy,
Wow.
and its skills take some setting up, but I will defer to the group. I made a call about Dragoons last tournament that was very wrong. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine putting it top of A. I mean, it definitely is squishy. I just that lightning strike's just a constant threat in my mind.
true, and the meter charge you get off that is very nice. And I think
Right.
we'll still
What?
be
Yeah. What is
squishy
the
for that.
meter charge on that again? I always forget about that part of it.
25%, isn't it? Or 25 or something like that. The number 25. I remember that. I think I'd put it at the bottom.
Plus 25 charge.
Yeah, if it hits.
Yeah.
If it hits.
Gosh, I think I'd kind of I'm feeling the same way as Priest. Like, I'm not going to start doubting until I see it happen.
I think if it's an elite, it belongs in the S tier because you're going to get better stats with that too.
Yeah.
That's the flip side.
Now, they really, sages really only just get killer in wisdom stats. The rest of their stat rolls are eh. All right. Well, let's, Maddie, let's move on to Seer. What do you say about a Seer?
I have not used Seer a lot, and I can't imagine it would be too strong here. After 2 turns, deal
Still pretty
150. Yeah, I mean, I can't see it outside of D. I'd love to hear the arguments.
I think it's a solid B at least. Its skills are very great support and useful on their own in a pinch. So the curse is a great support for any like frontline damage dealer doing a lot of DPS.
And that's 1 meter, is that right?
Well, so I was just gonna ask because it doesn't
It's
say
not.
that there.
So
did that get taken away?
I think it got a little nerf. So it used to be, I think, double damage. Now it's only 1.5 times.
But no meter.
Yeah.
But
That's
no
interesting.
meter.
Okay, that changes
That's
my
playable
opinion
again?
on it. Yeah, that one, because that switch happened right before the last tournament, and Sears went from A tier, top of A tier, to D unplayable. That really changes my mind. Okay.
Yeah, I like that then as a midline play.
Better than Monk? Better than Knight?
Probably
Unproven.
in the C tier. I'd
Yeah,
say.
you could
C?
drop it
I
down.
still don't think. I mean, I get I'm getting outvoted here, but I still think it's not going to be as effective. They're not hitting that hard. That 1.5 is not going to make people hit that much harder.
So the other part is the 4C, which is still, it's not quite the insta kill it was in the baby tier, but it's like having a it's going to be stronger than most of your Paladin's retributions. You can just sit in the midline, people forget about it, and you get that off, and now their hero's got basically a death.
Yeah, I think the people forgetting about it is more of an advantage than we might think. Like that retribution everyone's aware of, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Most people might not even know what a Seer's second move is. They might be looking it up as they go. I might be looking it up again if I come across one in the tournament, forgetting from this conversation.
Right.
Having used it, it's also a lot of fun.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting.
So, would you say bottom of B or C?
I'd say top of C.
Yeah, let's put it ahead of
top of
Ninja at least.
Okay. Well, I was going to go to Franz next, but I think I got to go to Mean Machine for the Shapeshifter.
Ooh. Well, I still think the Shapeshifter, I don't know if it goes in C or D. And maybe it's just too complicated. I haven't figured out how to use it yet. But with the fact that you need a meter just to get it set up.
Just to get off the ground, yeah.
Yeah, that's still tough in the lightweight.
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, it is interesting though. I didn't realize. So I was playing against Hold for Life, who has been absolutely crushing the AI. He plays like 30 matches a day. Um, but he played me with a shapeshifter, and I just didn't know any of its skills really. I didn't realize Boar Form, in addition to giving you Blitz and Cleave, it gives you that plus 100% damage and plus 50% speed. So I mean, it's like a mini Dark Pact, in addition to unlocking some pretty cool moves.
Hmm.
So I lost that match, in case anyone was wondering. Once he got that off.
I feel like there's so much potential. I just haven't had a chance. I have never successfully play tested it. Put it that
Yeah,
way. I've tried it a couple times. It's a long setup, but so's the Dark Knight, and that can roll. So maybe there is a role for the Seer here, or the
Yeah.
Shapeshifter.
I don't have any high level shapeshifters, so I think that's my problem.
All right, I'll take Summoner next. They're not in the game yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the most appropriate ranking.
Move on to Thief. All right, Franz. What do you got for Thief?
Thief.
Sorry, I gotta go back. It's a joke, everyone. I have a Summoner.
I thought we were just gonna leave it there.
Can't really
I mean, I
bitch,
think that's good
bitch to
advice for
Tylus
everyone.
about it. They don't play them.
Good
They are
advice.
just. They are. I don't even think they're playable in this format.
Some changes coming to them though.
I have not pushed on Tylus
Ah.
about this at all. It's I learned my lesson with making Dark Knights into a monster. So
I think it is something he's thinking about though.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to reveal any of his secrets, but he mentioned that
Okay.
might
That's
be
good.
something. As
Thief.
far as Thief goes, I mean, I think we talked about it last time. There's merit in the move in backstab and the 50 damage that it deals. Viper Strike is a cool mechanic, maybe in higher weight classes. Down here, it's gonna die very quickly. Maybe for a midline support, if you get it with a Dragoon where you're making them move, or with a Knight. I think even C might be a little too high. I would put it at the beginning of D.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
5% hit points is just not going to be. It's not going to matter.
All right, Maddie. How do you
Mhm.
feel about Warriors?
I feel very good. I think, A, possibly B. I can understand an argument for B, but I think they're going to be strong, and I think their moves are still relatively useful, just because it's, if they're going to have more hit points, so that last stand, you'll have more time, more opportunity to get it off. I think A.
I think Cleave got a buff because you're going to get to Cleave faster. Slight buff, maybe. I think they're going to be pretty darn good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I would put it in front of Archer. I think that's just silly. There's
Yeah.
not many things I would put in front of Archer. Just all around ever. So I think I'd put it between Dark Knight and Archer.
I think that's a good spot for it.
Okay. Anyone want to take us home on Wizard?
I think Meme Machine's up.
Yeah, right. So I like Wizards. I am very curious. I'm thinking it's somewhere between A and B. Ice Blast is great because it does a solid amount of damage, and you get that speed reduction, which lasts through the whole game. So that's a great way to sort of flip the tables on your opponent, especially if you're like getting them from a sneaky subclass, Ice Blast, and now you've flipped the speeds, which can turn a game. And Meteor in Baby Cup, that was almost like a total team kill, right? Midway through a game, you get a Meteor and you can wipe out the whole team. And I think Lightweight, the health is going to be high, but not that much higher. And that's still going to do a ton of damage and kind of be like the Monk that you kind of, once you have that Meteor ready, you have to block it. So if talking myself into an A tier here. The downside to them is like all the other casters, they're squishy, but you get them on the midline, they're dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm worried that they're so, because at first I thought they were going to be A tier, and I started to do some team comping around a wizard, and they're so squishy. Like their health
Yeah.
gain for level 2, you're like, what? Like you're at like 135 or something. Like it's so low. You still get threatened by thieves, by pirates, by archers, like if you're in the front line, archers if you're in the midline. It's just they feel still pretty squishy to me. 2 meter feels like it's hard to build up, but if you get it, I do think you're spot on that it's still going to be close to a team kill.
I think you gotta go B just because
Yeah.
they'll go down so hard, so easily.
I think it should be top of B if it's B though, because it if you're gonna have it out there in the midline, that it is a constant threat, right? With that ice blast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So compared to some of those other heroes in B, I just think there's more merit to it.
Ice Blast does slap really hard.
It does.
Yeah, and like you said, that 25% speed, like don't sleep on that either.
Yeah,
I think
late
it'd be
in
very
matches.
interesting. Oh, sorry, you go for it, Franz.
No, I mean just late in matches that speed, like the speed doesn't really matter enough in in Fight Club, I guess, but towards the end of games, it really rears its head.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, how interesting would it? I don't know if I'm gonna have to play around with it, but having a monk and a wizard in your team late game, and then you just have your opponent like guessing if you had the full meter, if you had 3 meter, let's say, that would be wild. And
I'm
like if they were wrong,
I've heard
I don't
people
know.
say that Monk, Wizard, Paladin is the best Fight Club.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Well, what I was gonna say is I think that's the first team the Mean Machine ran out against me, and I was like, what the hell? Like,
It
what do I
is.
interrupt here?
Yeah, exactly.
It was very frustrating.
Bring it back, Mean Machine. Run it back. You got that.
Yeah.
You got that gold logo for a reason.
I gotta do it a different way.
All right, so I gotta get to YouTube chat here. I apologize for I've been driving our guests here to answer succinctly and quickly, so haven't had a chance to dive in here to YouTube chat. So you guys, if you want to take a peek as well, let's see what some of the good questions are. Rogine saying A+ on Pirate. I think pirates are. I don't know. I struggle with that one. I want them to be an A+. We'll see.
Oh, good one from the Wanderer.
Yeah, what do you got?
Dragoon. Dragoon
Corey, by the way.
It's what?
That's Corey, by the way.
I'm gonna say the Wanderer though, because I'm reading the YouTube.
I'm just saying, heed the advice that you're about to say.
Okay, it's the Wanderer. It says Dragoon with a good subclass is definitely S, but if it doesn't have a good subclass, it should be A.
I agree with that.
I think that's fair of most front lines, right? Because that's where that subclass is being used. If it's not a good one.
Do you think any of these classes right now they drop a tier with a bad subclass? Like a Sage. Does a subclass matter?
Well, no, because I think a Sage is fighting more often than out of midline.
Yeah.
Same with Paladin. Although you can play it in the front line, I think it projects more as a midline. But Dragoon, Warrior, Dark Knight, I think the subclass is a little more important.
Right.
And
That's
the element too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Definitely.
Zabu saying, did anyone in Baby Cup play an elite subclass? Maybe I saw one or two. I did see someone was running a Sage subclass in the
It was a
semifinals,
Dragoon Sage,
right?
I believe.
Dragoon Sage, okay.
Yeah, it was someone
rhyme
from
with Corey.
Perilous. I'm forgetting who.
Yeah. Okay.
What's the move for Dragoon? It's the Blitz, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Sage sub, so it was a lightning
Sage,
strike.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was.
that's
when
interesting.
Vicious sub.
When it struck, it was frightening to me. Delay saying, I'm scared of the shapeshifter. I really want them to see some more play. I don't know if I'm going to be scared of them with meter being so low.
It's wait, so it's 2 meter to do the Phoenix one, right? And 1 meter to do the boar.
I think Phoenix is unplayable in this group.
Because
It's good.
yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, and Bravo's Lab saying that he wants to see some live matches. Bravo, check out from the last tournament we did the semis and the finals for the past 2 tournaments actually live, and it's a bunch of us up here talking through the matches. So I think that would be great for you to watch.
Maddie asking Sun Bear for his social security number, and just giving you a hard time, Maddie.
No question. I did ask that.
Good. It was a good question. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Good question. Bravo's Lab. And then jump in too. So ask anyone on Fight Club. Just start playing some games. I found that was most beneficial when I started in on this early on. So yeah, just start playing games. And
yeah,
and
Bravo, I'll play anytime you want. Just at me, at Franz, and I'll be there.
Yeah, and if you hop into the Coliseum, you can play a bunch of different AIs against whatever your build is. So that's a great way to just try stuff out and take your time and learn how it works.
Yeah, looks like we have AP and Corey playing right now.
Nice. All right, I'm scrolling up earlier in the chat, and Guy Kid's telling me I'm way too soft volume. Yeah, my whole mic setup is wonky right now. Well, it's not really my mic setup; it's my podcasting setup. So, as you guys might know, I'm halfway in between moving right now. So I'm actually playing on my children's animal care center, veterinarian center. Melissa and Doug style toy, and it has it's holding my laptop in one location, my mic in one location, and my vodka water in a third location, and it's all over the place. I gotta make sure I finish off that vodka water before I go to bed.
The dedication to the podcast.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sitting on the floor too, so it's it's
Really painting us a picture. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, someday I'm gonna dox here, and you'll get to see the chaos that's behind Raph. Messy house. Okay, well, this once Raph starts complaining about his move, that's when the podcast has gone on too long. Okay, so any closing notes? Go sign up for the tournament. Go do it now.
Raph, can we maybe just quickly go through, throw out some of the subclasses?
Oh,
that we might want to do.
Subclasses. All right.
We don't have to not the full tiers, but just kind of I think obviously Archer, Warrior, Priest, I think are going to be Wizard are going to be good.
Yeah,
I think Archer, Wizard, I think are the S tier as far as strategic plays. The Archer, the last tournament, every single one of my heroes had an Archer sub, and I think they're going to again in this tournament.
Yeah.
So
some interesting ones. I'm curious to see how they work. I'd throw out Knight, Seer, and Monk with the Meditate for meter.
Yeah, I was going to say Monk too. I think that might be interesting.
A point to make with the Knight, it is not Shield Slam. You get the 1 meter shackle.
What?
Yeah. So that's something that I think Konix was looking to maybe change, but right now it is shackle. That's
less exciting. I take that back.
Did you have a strategy set up that is now changed?
No. I was just throwing that out there for someone to try, and I was maybe looking at running a Paladin Knight after this discussion, but I'm less excited about that now.
Crushing me machine streams.
All right, so I threw up the ones that I think are relevant. Archer, Wizard, I agree. S tier, no contest. Monk, Thief, warrior, I'd put an A. And then
Yeah.
B, I would put knight, seer, pirate.
You do you not think priest? I think priest
Yeah, I think
heal
Priest deserves to
will
be
come
in
into
there.
play.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Would you say A or B?
Probably B, but I don't know. I mean,
You have to be in the
I can
front line
understand
to
A.
use it, and I feel like if you're in the front line, you have better things to be doing than.
That's a good point. Although, I mean, like a late game save the day at the last moment if the guy was in the back.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's
I think it could
certainly
be
useful.
sneaky on a tank. I think we'll see that go up from B to A with the next weight class up.
Right. I mean, I understand because these points are legit, but like it's way better than, summoner.
It goes without saying, but if you have a Dread Knight subclass, you should probably play that hero.
Is that allowed? Is that against the rules?
So that came up today. We never officially banned any subclasses. I think we should next time just in case. It was kind of like a I don't think it's gonna hurt us type of mentality, but it might. So we should probably just take care of it.
We're gonna get
Wait, does that exist?
overpowered.
Does anyone have a Dread Knight subclass?
They are out there. Not
No
many,
way.
but yeah, I think so.
All right, go rent a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's yeah, thank you for that, Maddie. Delay saying priest top of B. Yep, I agree. Guy Kid saying my entire team might be a priest subclass. Interesting strategy. Cotton.
Hope I get matched up with Guy Kid round 1.
All right, Aaron Price saying Dread sub is not any good. I think he's just trying to throw people off the scent. All right. Well, let's. We got through that. We're running on an hour here, so let's close up for the night. Mead Machine, any closing comments?
Yeah, if you haven't signed up, please go sign up. The more the merrier. The group stage, I found out about that live on the podcast. I'm super excited to see that play out. So, yeah, looking forward to this weekend.
All right, Franz, you're next.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the go sign up thing, but that was taken. I'm looking through chat now, see if I can call anyone specific out. But I think everyone, the Wanderer, Corey, go sign up. You're gonna probably win the thing. Go sign up.
All right, Maddie, I've forgotten how to podcast, so I'll let you take us home.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I know we said dreads were banned, but is pouring banned as well? Have we made that decision?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He has to
Excellent. That's
pay
great.
extra.
Yeah.
He has to cover the first 2 rounds because those are pretty much like buys for him anyways. So.
Exactly. No, but thanks very much for having us, Raph. This is a lot of fun. I love chatting about DFK Fight Club.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's been too long. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there. Appreciate the community support. And, yeah, go jump into Fight Club. Remember, best skill-based game for your NF.